All right, welcome back in. This is the first episode of the Cardinals Report. I am going to be following the Arizona Cardinals across this entire season and just doing shorter episodes and focusing in on what we have at the week at hand and what is going on in each of one of these individual games. Obviously, nothing has gotten played yet, so I'm just going to be really focusing on this upcoming week, week one versus the New Orleans Saints at New Orleans. And before I go into that, I want to just go in and say I'm extremely happy with what the Arizona Cardinals did this offseason. Instead of um, falling into any pressure that they could potentially, like a lot of teams in the NFL, it always seems like they go and they like add like an unnecessary wide receiver or just do something weird. I really like what this offense is as of right now. They brought everyone back. Obviously, they have James Conner, Trey Benson in the backfield. I'm expecting Trey Benson to get a lot more workload. I wouldn't say anything like a 50-50 workload because James Conner ultimately is all reliable at the end of the day. But if you want to insert a spark plug into this offense from like a rushing standpoint, I like what Trey could do with this team. I'm expecting Marvin Harrison Jr. to have a big jump this year. I think a lot of people are out on him after year one, saying that he had a down season, but 800 yards, 800 plus yards, 8 touchdowns. It's nothing to even bat an eye at. This team, I thought he played amazing last year. Obviously, he could have some things to work on, but so could every single player. So I'm expecting him to kind of ascend and take that next step. To continue just down this rest of the receiving core, Michael Wilson has been off and on. I would like to see him play a little bit better, but the Zay Jones bringing him back, he had a suspension last year and was banged up. To get him back, he is a sure-handed wide receiver. You saw what he could do for like a Trevor Lawrence when he was in Jacksonville. I like him as a player. Trey McBride, he's the best tight end in the NFL. I mean, I'm going to stamp that. I mean, obviously, George Kittle is there, Brock Bowers, but from a blocking and receiving perspective, I know that they have Tip Ryman to come in and do some of the dirty work blocking as well, but Trey is more than capable of doing that. I really like this offensive line as well, but this defense is the story right now. Obviously, Walter Nolan, he tweaked his calf at a camp over the summer, and he's on the PUP list. Um, Sean Murphy Bunting tore his ACL during some offseason shenanigans, and he's going to miss the season. That's fine. I'm not really worried about him. I hate Sean Murphy Bunting ever since he got burnt against the Commanders last year. Yeah, I've been completely out on him. But we will get Walter Nolan back at some point. And on top of that, the Josh Sweat edition, the Calais Campbell edition, the Dalvin Tomlinson edition, Darius Robinson having a full healthy offseason. I don't know if you've seen him. He looks like an absolute monster. And Jordan Birch, a name that I think people are going to start becoming a little bit more familiar with, although it is a deep room that they have now. I think that he will be able to interject himself within this defense. I think he's a dog. He played really well during the preseason. I think Mac Wilson Sr. is going to have another big step season this year. Zaven Collins, edge rusher specialist, not the biggest fan of him. And then Baron Browning, obviously, they bring him back. And then this guy fell to pick 60 in the second round. I wanted them to take him in the first round. And when he was there at the second round, it was like a match made in heaven. It was a no brainer. They get Will Johnson. Will Johnson immediately comes in the building and is a dude. He's going to be their cornerback number one. He's already a guy, and we're going to see that play out this season. Then Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker, a great safety duo. Max Melton, we need to see him take a step forward. And then the Nerds' favorite cornerback who's going to take a step forward again and probably be a little bit more of a household name, and that is Garrett Williams. So from a full-on roster perspective, I love this roster from the offensive side and the defensive side. I think that the defense last year had little to no talent on it, and it was rough. And what Gannon was able to get out of that defense, especially at some stretches in the season where it was like almost legitimately shut down. I thought that was a big tell-all of let's get some talent actually in this building, and we are going to be able to have a put out an actual well above average defense. I think that there's a possibility that this is finishing like a top 8 defense just based on some of this talent that they have here. And if Walter Nolan can come back healthy and pan out. And then from an offensive perspective, people watched the Arizona Cardinals last year. That was Kyler Murray's probably most complete season in a while. I think that was encouraging to see. I know that at times people can get frustrated with him, but if you're going into this season and what Kyler did last year, you have to feel good about it. And this offense was right outside of the top 10 the entire season, top 10 at some points. And I think that there's no reason to not like an entire group, health willing, obviously. That's obviously a conversation with all of this, but to then go in and into the season and take the next step. If you guys haven't watched, I'll put the link in the description below. Me and my co-host Noah, who we do a lot of this stuff to previews with before the season starts, I picked the Arizona Cardinals to win this division. I think that there's zero excuse this year for them not to take that next step. The 49ers are banged up. They're always banged up. They obviously lost a ton of talent on defense. Their offense isn't the same. From the Rams perspective, the Rams get viewed as this big bad team, but this is a team that starts out slow every single season, injuries and or not. In the last 2 years, getting off to slow starts like a 3-6 start, a 1-4 start, then to have to go on and win like 9 straight at the end of the season to just solidify a wild card spot. The Rams play with razor thin margins, and I don't love their team. I still think their offensive line's a question mark. Their run game's clearly a question mark, and I think that they have one of the worst secondaries in the entire league. So I'm not really as hot. I know that they have Matt Stafford, a 38-year-old Matt Stafford with a bad back. And I think that he's probably the best quarterback in this division. But from a full team perspective, I just, and we'll get to the Seahawks. I think just the Cardinals overall just have a more fully built out roster, and there's just nobody to thank other than Monty Ossenfort for that. That guy has come in. He has a clear plan. He's stuck to the plan, and now you see how talented this roster is. So getting somebody like Steve Keim out of the building who was running this roster into the ground, and like think about the 2 first round picks on his last 2 years out, his 2 years before he went out, Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons isn't even in the league anymore. Those are just flat bad picks, taking off ball linebackers in it with your top pick. So just awful. So you come in this past since Monty has taken over, and you get a Marvin Harrison Jr., you get a Paris Johnson Jr., you get a Walter Nolan, Jordan Birch, all of these guys we can go on and on about, who are high character guys who are going to produce and who are going to be good players for a long time in the league. So I just like the Arizona Cardinals this year. I picked them to win 12 games. I think they take that next step. I think that as the season played out last year and how they finished, I don't think anybody was willing to admit that in the beginning of the season, this was a team that was viewed as being one of the worst teams in the NFL. People were picking them to win 4 games. This team isn't it, blah, blah, blah. And they went out and they did their thing. And I think that you could say that they probably underperformed a little bit because you would have liked to see them win some of those games down the stretch to put them at like a 9-8 and potentially 10 double digit winning season. But that's ultimately not how it played out. And I know that a lot of that blame is going to come from like a Kyler Murray, let's say. People are going to throw a lot of blame on Kyler Murray. This defense just wasn't up to par. And now that we have some actual talent on this defense, we're going to be able to see this team take a next step. All the top teams in the NFL, they aren't just offensive dominant. When you look at a Chiefs, at a Bills, at a Ravens, they all have top 5 DVOA defense by DVOA defenses every single season since Lamar, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes have kind of taken off in this 2020s era of football since Tom Brady has retired. The emphasis has switched from being this offensive heavy team from the Super Bowl when Tom Brady won post that date. The teams are taking this defensive team building extremely serious. The Eagles, for example, as well. And I think that the Cardinals are built just like all of those other teams. So I really like them this upcoming season. I can talk at nauseum about that, but I just wanted to give some highlights. I'll link the all 32 link below, where we actually previewed the entire offseason for the Cardinals and what we thought that they were going to happen for the 2025 season. But let's get into week 1 here. The Arizona Cardinals are on the road at the New Orleans Saints. They're favored by 6.5. The money line's sitting at minus 290, and the over under is sitting at 42.5. The Arizona Cardinals should thank the gods above to set them up with an easier first game than what they have right now. I am expecting the Arizona Cardinals to not just cover this spread. I'm expecting them to come out and dominate this game. If we think who the Cardinals, excuse me, I'm not going to say this right. If we think who the Cardinals, who they say they are, whatever, if we actually think that this is the team, like me, if I actually think this team is going to take the next step, this is the first test. This is a team that they should blow out of the water. This is a team that they should go and handle business. This is a team that they should go and beat by 2 scores. And there's no excuses. They're better at every step of the way, from quarterback to the nickel back corner, by every stretch of the imagination. So go into New Orleans, handle business, and get a big win in week 1. And then we can go into we look at their schedule down leading the rest of the way. Then you're at home versus Carolina. So just go in, take care of business. I don't see why there is any reason why this team shouldn't go in to New Orleans and take care of business. I mean, this is just a bad football team. Something I do like is I think that Kyler Murray is going to be featured a little bit more as a runner this upcoming season. So one of my favorite prop bets of this entire week is Kyler Murray over 25.5 yards rushing. There were some flashes last season where he was able to take off. My favorite play of the year against the Niners is when he got to the 50-yard line, pointed to the end zone, and took off for a touchdown. There's 2 guys in the NFL that can do that. I think it's like Lamar and Kyler, maybe Jalen Hurts. So yeah, I like his rushing totals to kind of. I think that 25 mark is safe, but I love the opportunity that he had. It wouldn't shock me at all if Kyler could rush for 50 yards in a football game, and I think everybody would probably agree with that as well. Let's see what Trey McBride's receiving totals are at. I'm just curious what his receptions are. I mean, obviously, this is the first game of the season. We're not really going to have an idea. At over 6.5 receptions, it's sitting at plus 120 right now. I don't know. I mean, screw it. I like that pick. I mean, what's not to like about Trey McBride? You saw Kyler like really lean on him last year, which was great. Towards the end of the season here, let's look. 7 catches, 12 catches, 3, 9, 7, 12, 12. Yeah, I mean, at a point on of last year, Kyler was like, yeah, you're my guy, and I'm going to keep ripping you the football. So 6.5 receptions at plus money. I like that. I feel like that's good value as well. But yeah, the Arizona Cardinals, that's my team this week, where I'm betting that 6.5 number, and I'm expecting them to cover that. That's one of my favorite bets of the entire week. I gave out some other ones too. I will be back next week, obviously, to then the plan forward for the rest of the season is to review the week after the game. So I'll be reviewing week 1, talking about what happened in the game, anything else that I could have potentially changed or whatever, or how they performed. And then we're going to go then and preview week 2. And then we're going to be doing that for the entire season. I'm expecting a big year out of the Arizona Cardinals this year. That's why that was my team that I've always kind of gravitated towards. I have a good feel for them. And on top of that, I think that this is the team that could potentially take the next step that nobody's really talking about this upcoming season. So if you obviously like the Arizona Cardinals, we have a ton of other videos on this channel as well. So keep a lookout for that. But if you're an Arizona Cardinals football fan, just look for the Cardinals Report. This will be episode 1, and tune in for the rest of the season. Thank you.